Hey everyone. It is February 8th. It's a Saturday, and it's been like 3 weeks since I filmed. I'm really doing great with the whole social media thing getting better in 2025. I'm doing great. So it was just a very busy past couple of weeks. There was another production that I was involved with, so we had Tech Week for that, and then obviously Performance Week and everything. And then it's just been busy. I'm helping out with Color Guard again. If you've been with my channel for a while, I think you know I've been doing that for several years. So I'm helping out with Color Guard again. So we've had rehearsals for that, and it's just been a very busy time. But as Mariana reads on YouTube, Instagram, all the things, as Mariana says, better late than never. So I'm going to come on here and talk about my January reads for 2025. January was such a good month for me. I legitimately do, and I mean like in terms of amount of books that I've read. It overall was a really good reading month too in terms of like what I rated books, but there were definitely a couple duds, and I'll talk about those. But like I read 7 books in January, and for me that is unheard of. The majority of them I read in the beginning of the month because I had started them in 2024 and then finished them in 2025. So I did a lot of reading right at the beginning, took like a week or 2 off, and then read a little bit more at the end of the month. Thankfully, the production that I was working on, I was backstage crew, and there was actually some time that I could read backstage during the show. So as long as I had my listening ears on and I could hear what was going on stage, I could actually read a little bit backstage, which was nice. So yeah, I read 7 books in January. That's the most books I think I've ever read in one month. I think the next closest, I think I had 6 at some point in September, October of last year. So I'm really excited, and we're off to a good start in February so far. If my goal for today actually happens, by the end of the day today, I will have read 4 books, or I will have finished 4 books in the month of February already. So here's hoping. But anyway, January 2025, the first month of the year, let's talk about what I read. I have my little notepad here. So the first book that I read, and I finished this, I think I started this on actually this might have been a one-day read. Maybe a 24-hour. I think I started this on the last day of the year. I think I started this on New Year's, New Year's Eve, and then I think I finished it New Year's Day. I think. I didn't write down the dates that I read it, but I know that I finished it on New Year's Day. I remember doing that. The first book that I read was Always by Sarah Jo. I'll put the picture of it right here. I rated that one 3 stars. It was a really short read. It was only 250 pages. The story was really interesting. I feel like it was because it was so short, I felt like it got to the problem legitimately in 3 pages in. Chapter 1, we had already been introduced to the problem, and I was like, whoa, I need some build up, I need some content. It just happened very, very quickly, and I the entire book took place over a decent period of time, but not maybe a month, maybe. So it was not my favorite. I thought the story was interesting, the plot was interesting. I didn't find myself connecting to the characters a lot, but I really liked the way that there were some issues thrown in there, like real world issues. I liked the way that they were incorporated into this book. A big topic in the book is homelessness, and I thought they did a really good job of kind of talking about that and incorporating it into the story. And it definitely made me think about it a little bit more. So I was like, whoa. So I did really like that aspect of it. So yeah, I rated it 3 stars. I would recommend it. It was good, but it wasn't it didn't blow my mind, but I would probably read it again, if I just need a short read, I don't know if it would get me out of a slump per se, but if I just need a short read to just kind of cut up whatever I'm reading, if I'm in a huge thriller era and I just need something with a little bit of romance, but not a romance, I'd probably read that, you know what I mean? So the next book that I read, and I'll say finished, because this one I listened to A Murder to Remember by Brynne Kelly on Audible. This was a 2-star read, and genuinely, I think 2 stars is generous for this one. I feel like I have been reading this since at least summer of last year. I could not get into it. I was really mad that I couldn't get into it because I wanted to. I thought the premise of it was really interesting, but I could not connect with the characters. I don't think I loved the narration, but that's not necessarily the book's fault. Yeah, I could not connect with the characters. I was having a hard time following the story, and I don't know how much of that was I was listening to it like while I was at work, so I was constantly like my brain was kind of split between a couple things, so I don't know how much of it was the book and how much of it was that. But yeah, I could not get into it. It took every fiber of my being not to DNF it. If I had DNF'd it, it would have gotten a 1 star for me. So that is the only reason it has more than 1 star, is because I did finish it. But I found, and the plot twists at the end, I did actually find interesting, but I also found confusing. And maybe that was because I found everything before it confusing. So maybe if you if you followed the book a little bit more, it wouldn't have been as confusing to you. But I was having a very hard time following the dialogue at the end, because there were multiple plot twists all kind of rolled into one plot twist, and I was like, okay, what? So that was kind of a bummer. I think I finished that on like the 2nd day of January. Again, I'd been reading it for a very, very long time, and I was like, I'm determined to finish this today. So I think I finished that on January 2nd. After that, we recovered, and we recovered strong, because we read Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. That is I'm calling it the 4th book. It's the 3rd book publication order in the Throne of Glass series. But I'm reading it 4th because I read Assassin's Blade first. 5 stars. Need I say more? This is where I was invested before. I loved Throne of Glass. I loved Assassin's Blade. Crown of Midnight, it took me a while to get through it, but once you hit that, then I was all in, and I just wanted to binge read it, you know? And this one kind of started out that way, where like it took me a little bit to get into it, especially because they introduce a new character into this one that they're kind of jumping back and forth between POVs. And I don't love when books do that, especially like at this current moment. During this book, they're 2 completely different sides of the world. They don't even know about the existence of each other. So like I know they're gonna meet in the future, which is why the character is important. But like right now, with them not having any knowledge of it, it's kind of annoying to be bouncing back and forth. But I still rated it 5 stars, because again, once I got into it, if I had the ability to pull an all-nighter to read a book, I would have. Like this, I don't know why it took me so long to finally read Throne of Glass. I still actually haven't read the 3rd Crescent City book. Boo womp on me. Need to do that. Maybe that can go on my January 2025 book reading. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I cannot believe it has taken me this long to get into Throne of Glass. And I'm still trying to take my time with it, because I'm also trying to read other books in between. Like, I have not read another Throne of Glass book since Heir of Fire. I'm planning on starting Queen of Shadows hopefully this month. If not, definitely next month. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. Heir of Fire, 5 stars. Next, I read You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. I felt like I needed to redeem my thriller audiobook listening, and I went with a Geneva Rose book because I know she does good books. And I rated this one 3 stars, probably closer to 3.25, 3.5. But Goodreads doesn't do the half stars, so do they? Do I not know how to do it? I don't know. I feel like somewhere between 3.5 stars. When you ask me, depends, like, you know what I mean? What I give it depends on when you ask me. So this was about a corporate city girl who takes a single vacation, by herself, like out west, completely the middle of nowhere. And she stays at this Airbnb, and the Airbnb owner obviously is there with her, and they kind of start to form a connection, but she's getting weird vibes both from him and the people in this town, and she's trying to figure out why. And I don't want to say too much more because it will start to give things away. I rated this 3 stars. I thought the narration was good. I thought they did a good job of making the love interests both creepy and likable, which I know was the goal. So I thought they did a really good job with that. Some of the side characters were really funny, and other ones just kind of got on my nerves. The plot twist at the end, did not see coming. Absolutely did not see coming. That was insane to me. Which is probably why it's closer to 3.5 stars. Yeah, I did not see that one coming. I was like, oh. So I enjoyed that. Again, I listened to that as an audiobook at work. I think I have The Perfect Marriage. Is that the other one that I have that's Geneva Rose? Yes, I have The Perfect Marriage in hard copy on my bookshelf over there, so I'll probably read that sometime soon, and I'm looking forward to it because I liked Geneva Rose's writing. Next, oh my god, I totally just realized I didn't write down my rating for this one book. Oopsies. The rest of the month was filled with pretty dang good books. I have 3 more books. 2 of them are 5-star. The next book that I read, I have finally started my Emily Henry journey. I read Beach Read, and I rated that 5 stars. I loved Beach Read. I thought that was so good. I connected with both of the characters. I loved that. Sorry, I don't know what's happening to my voice right now. I loved that it was 2 authors. I loved that they basically challenged each other to write outside of their genre. I thought that was really, really cool. Oh my god, the one scene, I can't talk about it without giving too much away, but the one scene where our FMC and MMC go outside of their town for a research project. First of all, I love the chemistry between the 2 of them. I thought it was really good, but also just emotionally, that scene, there was definitely some miscommunication stuff in here, which I don't love miscommunication in books because I don't love miscommunication in real life. I think if people communicated more, it would solve a lot of problems. But I think Emily Henry did a good job of not making miscommunication the absolute core of the conflict between the FMC and the MMC. I thought that it was kind of just the right amount of miscommunication. I loved Beach Read. I thought it was so good, and I definitely have more Emily Henry books in my collection, so I'm very, very excited to read more of them. And then I actually finished off the month with 2 ARC copy books. I'm really trying to use 2025 to get into my ARC era. I want to start reading books by more indie authors because I feel like I have a lot of very mainstream titles on my bookshelf, which is fine. Love them. Great. Amazing. But I want to also start supporting smaller authors as well. I think that's so important, and you never know what gems you're going to find. Like the next one, I highly, highly recommend. This came out on January 21st. I did read it. I think I read it I finished it 3 or 4 days before it came out. I think I finished it on the 18th or something. It's The Scientist by Kristen B. Cole. I think I rated it 4.5 stars, but again, Goodreads doesn't do half stars, or if they do, I don't know how to get them. So I rated it 5 stars on there. I ate this book up. Kicking and screaming, giggling, oh my god. Grumpy Sunshine, forced proximity, music teacher versus neuroscientist. The side characters in this, the chemistry in this, pun intended, because obviously he's a scientist. But yeah, I ate everything about this book up. It was so good, and I will 110% be reading more books that Kristen B. Cole comes out with, because I loved it. I thought it was the perfect size book. Again, loved the characters, loved the chemistry, just everything about it. Exceptional. Thank God. And I'm telling you, our MMC in there, he's climbing his way into my book boyfriend top tier list. Just saying. And then the last book that I read for the month was another ARC. It's called Cursed in Love by Emily Collin. It is out for pre-order right now if you're interested. Basically, think Charmed, like small town romance, but there's magic. It was really cute. I rated the 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Again, it wasn't like God tier for me, but I really enjoyed it. I think there was, again, a lot of like miscommunication, which don't love, but I kind of saw coming who the bad guy was, but then I started to kind of shy away from that. And then when I was like, oh, I knew it. My first instinct was right, like when it finally came down to it. And I thought that, like, I really liked this person kind of, our FMC kind of coming into herself as she goes through this, and kind of figuring out who she is. And I liked the chemistry between the 2 characters. This was a pretty short read for me, and I finished this one like right at the end of the month. I really enjoyed it. Again, if you like Charmed, if you like small town romance, again, this is kind of forced proximity, because these 2 work together and they're forced to work on a project together. I think that you will really enjoy this. So those are all the books that I read in January. Again, this may not seem like a lot of books to some people, but for someone who works a full-time job, works a side job, also does performances here and there, 7 books was really, really good for me. And, some people just are able to read more books in a month and some are not. I tend to be on the lower end. I tend to not be able to read as many. So this was a really, really good month for me. And I feel like overall I had a lot of really, really good reads. Again, I've already finished 2 for the month of February, and I'm hoping to finish 2 more today because I'm like 75% through 2 at the moment. And it's been, I guess, like, of the 2 books I read, it's been kind of a mixed bag. One was a 5-star read and the other one was like a 2-star read. So very similar actually to how the beginning of January started. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I can't wait to talk about my February reads. I'm hopefully going to be making a video soon with my dad, because my dad wants to start a book project with me, which I think would be really, really cool. And we want to take you guys along that journey as well. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to read more. I'm excited to get back into SJM at Sarah J. Maas. I'm so excited. I have not read Onyx Storm yet. It is sitting right behind the camera looking at me. I'm trying to save it for letter O in my alphabet challenge, and it's just looking at me. It is looking at me and it is taunting me. And I did get it on release day. My lovely, wonderful boyfriend, who works at BJ's, actually saw it at BJ's on release day and bought it and brought it home for me. So I'm super duper grateful, because I was working that day and I wouldn't have been able to do it. So but yeah, that is the month of January. I hope you guys had a really good reading month. If you had any 5-star reads in January, comment them down below and let me know, because if there's something that I haven't read yet, I would love to read them. If you thought they were 5-star reads, I'm probably going to think they're at least 3-star, if not 5-star. So let me know what books you really enjoyed this month. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, a wonderful time in general, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.